Have you ever been so distracted that, out of nowhere, a voice in your subconscious jolts you awake, whispering warnings about something unseen yet undeniably real? That's not just your imagination, it's the divine trying to communicate with you. And if you're here right now, chances are it's happening to you. Pay attention. This isn't random, it's intentional. If you've ever noticed a crescent moon and the letter M etched into the lines of your palm, this message is tailor-made for your spiritual journey. You've been chosen to receive guidance, and ignoring it could mean missing out on transformative growth. Today, we're diving deep into 8 things to avoid if you have the crescent moon and letter M on your palm, but these aren't just tips. They're urgent pieces of advice designed to protect you from pitfalls that can block your spiritual awakening. These symbols on your palm aren't mere markings, they signify heightened intuition, unique gifts, and an extraordinary connection to higher realms. But with great power comes even greater responsibility and danger if misused or ignored. Before we begin, I need you to do something important. If what I'm saying resonates with your soul, comment 888 below and let me know where you're tuning in from. This will confirm that you're ready to unlock the secrets meant specifically for you. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand why staying until the very last word is critical, not only for your own protection but also for stepping fully into the purpose you were born to fulfill. Let's get started. Avoid trading your mystery for marketability. Let's talk about something profoundly uncomfortable but undeniably true. The modern world wants to box you in. It demands labels, slogans, and neatly packaged identities because it thrives on predictability. But here's the thing: you are not ordinary. The crescent moon and letter M on your palm aren't just symbols, they're reminders of your divine individuality, your uniqueness. Your power lies not in fitting into someone else's mold but in embracing the mystery that makes you untouchable by societal norms. When you try to trade your mystery for marketability, when you dilute yourself to become more palatable or digestible, you betray the essence of who you truly are. This is where many gifted individuals falter. They dim their light to shine brighter under artificial spotlights, only to find themselves drained, lost, and disconnected from their higher purpose. Think about this deeply. What happens when you strip away the layers of silence, depth, and unpredictability that define you? You lose access to the sacred reservoir within yourself, the wellspring of creativity, intuition, and spiritual insight that sets you apart. The divine didn't gift you with these markings so you could conform to trends or chase fleeting validation. No, these symbols were placed upon you as a reminder that your value isn't found in being understood by everyone, it's found in remaining unknowable to most. There's immense strength in refusing to be reduced to bite-sized content or social media aesthetics. True power comes from knowing that while others may try to decode you, no one will ever fully grasp the magnitude of what you carry inside. So resist the urge to brand yourself like a product. Instead, honor the enigma you embody. Let your silence speak louder than words, let your actions ripple without explanation, and trust that those meant to recognize your light will feel its pull without needing a label. But why does this matter so much? Because trading your mystery for marketability doesn't just harm you, it harms the collective. When you shrink yourself to fit into the narrow confines of what the world deems acceptable, you rob humanity of the unique gifts only you can offer. Imagine if mystics throughout history had chosen comfort over authenticity, if they had traded their cryptic wisdom for applause or approval. Would we still have the profound teachings that guide us today? Probably not. Your refusal to dilute yourself ensures that your contributions remain pure, unfiltered, and aligned with your soul's mission. And make no mistake, the universe has plans for you, plans that require every ounce of your complexity, your paradoxes, and your untamed spirit. By staying true to your mystery, you align yourself with a higher calling, one that transcends ego-driven desires for recognition and taps into something far greater: service to the divine plan. Now, I know resisting the pressure to brand yourself isn't easy. Society glorifies visibility, followers, and likes, convincing us that success equals exposure. but ask yourself, at what cost? Every time you compromise your authenticity to cater to external expectations, you chip away at your soul's foundation. It's like trying to force a wildflower to grow in concrete. It might survive for a while, but it will never thrive. Similarly, when you suppress your innate divinity to fit into someone else's narrative, you stunt your growth and block the flow of blessings meant for you. Remember, the people who truly matter, the ones destined to cross paths with you, won't need flashy headlines or perfectly curated personas to see your worth. They'll sense your vibration, your energy, your truth. So instead of chasing after superficial metrics of success, focus on nurturing your inner world. Cultivate practices that deepen your connection to your spiritual self, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in stillness. These moments of introspection will fortify you against the relentless noise of the outside world. 2. Avoid becoming addicted to healing. Many spiritually awakened individuals that possess the crescent moon and the letter M fall into one so subtle yet insidious that it can derail even the most well-intentioned journeys, becoming addicted to healing. On the surface, this might sound contradictory. After all, isn't healing supposed to be a good thing? Absolutely, it's essential. But when you make healing your entire identity, when you become consumed by the endless pursuit of fixing yourself, you risk losing sight of why you're here in the first place. The divine didn't give you those sacred symbols on your palm so you could spend your life perpetually fixing what's broken within you. No, you were created as a vessel, a conduit for divine energy, and vessels are made to pour, not to hoard. If you've been stuck in an endless cycle of self-improvement without ever stepping into your calling, it's time to wake up. Here's the truth: healing is a process, not a destination. It's meant to restore balance, clear blockages, and prepare you for the work you're destined to do. But too often, people get caught in a loop where they mistake their worthiness for their wounds. They begin to identify solely with their pain, their trauma, their flaws, as if being a broken somehow defines them. And while addressing these aspects of yourself is crucial, there comes a point where you must move beyond them. Otherwise, you turn healing into an addiction, endlessly seeking the next modality, therapy session, or spiritual practice to fix something that may already be healed. This obsession with perfection keeps you trapped in stagnation, preventing you from fulfilling the greater purpose waiting for you just beyond the mirror of self-reflection. The danger lies in believing that you aren't enough until you've reached some mythical state of wholeness. Let me tell you this clearly: you will never reach a place where you feel completely fixed. Why? Because growth is infinite. Evolution is eternal. And if you wait until you're perfect before taking action, you'll spend your entire life waiting while the world misses out on the gifts only you can offer. You see, the divine doesn't call perfect people, it calls willing ones. It calls those who are brave enough to step forward despite their imperfections, knowing that their cracks let the light shine through. When you cling to the idea that you need to heal more before you can serve, you deny both yourself and others the opportunity to experience the transformative power of your presence. You weren't born to live in perpetual recovery mode, you were born to create, inspire, and uplift. This brings us to another critical point: you are not a project. Stop treating yourself like one. Yes, self-awareness and inner work are vital components of spiritual growth, but they are tools, not destinations. Imagine a glass of water constantly being refilled but never poured out. What happens? It overflows, wasting its potential. Similarly, when you focus exclusively on filling yourself up with healing practices without allowing that energy to flow outward, you rob the universe of the blessings you're meant to share. Remember, your purpose isn't to sit on the sidelines, endlessly refining your soul. Your purpose is to step into the arena to take everything you've learned, every lesson you've endured, and use it to impact the lives of others. Whether through art, teaching, leadership, or simply embodying love in everyday interactions, your role is to pour forth what has been poured into you. That's how divinity moves through you. 3. Avoid performing spirituality for the masses. Let's address a growing epidemic in our hyperconnected world: the temptation to turn spirituality into performance art. Social media platforms have become digital stages where people showcase their spiritual journeys, often reducing profound experiences to hashtags, captions, and viral reels. But here's the uncomfortable truth: not every vision is meant to be shared. Not every divine encounter was designed for public consumption. Some truths are too sacred, too raw, too potent to survive the sterilization of algorithms. When you broadcast what should remain private, you risk diluting its power, and worse, you may lose access to the deeper mysteries waiting to unfold within you. The divine speaks to you in whispers, not shouts, and those whispers are gifts meant to transform you before they ripple outward to touch others. Protect the unseen. Guard the holy. The danger of performing spirituality goes even deeper than mere ego inflation. When you share prematurely or unnecessarily, you disrupt the natural flow of divine timing. Every revelation, every insight, every mystical experience comes to you at a specific point in your journey for a reason. These moments are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness, meant to grow and mature over time. By rushing to share them publicly, you uproot these seeds before they've had a chance to take hold. This not only stunts your own growth, but also diminishes the impact those revelations could have on others down the road. Imagine holding space for the full gestation period of a truth until it ripens naturally. Only then does it carry the weight and resonance needed to truly transform lives, including yours. Premature sharing strips away the potency, leaving behind something shallow and fleeting. 4. Avoid mentors who silence your spirit. Let's talk about guidance, something every seeker craves on their spiritual journey. But here's a hard truth: not all mentors are created equal, and not every teacher is aligned with your unique destiny. In fact, some may actively work against it, whether consciously or unconsciously. These individuals might present themselves as wise, enlightened, or even divinely appointed, but if their teachings make you feel smaller instead of stronger, quieter instead of bolder, then they are not serving your highest good. The divine has marked you with the crescent moon and letter M. For a reason. You carry an anointing that is entirely your own, and no one else gets to dim its light. If someone tries to silence your spirit under the guise of mentorship, walk away in peace. You weren't born to fit into anyone else's blueprint. Think about this deeply: a true mentor doesn't mold you into their image, they help you uncover yours. They don't demand conformity, they encourage expansion. Their role is to hold space for your growth, not to impose their own limitations onto you. Yet, there are those who operate from fear, ego, or insecurity, projecting their unhealed wounds onto others. When you encounter such individuals, their advice will often feel suffocating, like being squeezed into a box far too small for your essence. They may label your intuition as rebellion, dismiss your questions as defiance, or criticize your gifts out of jealousy. Why? Because your brilliance threatens to expose what they've suppressed within themselves, their own untapped potential. And while this dynamic isn't your fault, staying in such a relationship can stunt your progress, keeping you tethered to energies that do not serve your soul's purpose. 5. Avoid numbing divine discomfort. The spiritual path is not always serene. In fact, it can be downright unsettling at times. If you've ever felt that deep, gnawing discomfort, a sense that something inside you is shifting, but you can't quite put your finger on it, you're experiencing what I call divine discomfort. This isn't just random unease, it's the universe rearranging pieces of your life to make room for expansion. Yet, here's the catch: many people instinctively try to numb this feeling instead of leaning into it. They turn to distractions, overscheduling their days, binge-watching shows, scrolling endlessly through social media, or consuming anything that promises temporary relief. But let me tell you something crucial: discomfort is often the gateway to divine instruction. When you numb it, you block the very guidance meant to propel you forward. 6. Avoid mistaking isolation for rejection. Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood phases of the spiritual journey: isolation. If you've ever felt like the world has turned its back on you, leaving you to navigate life alone, know this: it isn't rejection. It's preparation. The divine often calls those with the crescent moon and letter M on their palms into seasons of solitude, not because they are unworthy of connection, but because they are being groomed for something greater than the noise of the crowd can offer. Yet society will try to convince you otherwise. It will label your loneliness as failure, as evidence that you're doing something wrong. But don't fall for that lie. What others see as abandonment is actually a sacred strategy and intentional withdrawal designed to refine you, protect you, and prepare you for the role only you can fulfill. Some fruits only ripen in the dark, and your season of isolation is where your soul matures. Consider this: when you step away from the chaos of external validation, the constant need to be seen, heard, or understood, you create space for profound transformation. In solitude, distractions fade, and the voice of your higher self grows louder. This is where the real work happens. It's in these quiet moments that you confront your deepest fears, heal your oldest wounds, and reconnect with the essence of who you truly are. Without the pressure to perform or conform, you begin to shed layers of conditioning, the expectations, judgments, and limitations imposed by others, and uncover the raw, unfiltered truth of your divinity. Isolation isn't punishment, it's purification. It strips away everything that doesn't belong so that what remains is pure, authentic, and aligned with your purpose. And while it may feel lonely at times, trust that the universe is holding you close, preparing you for the moment when you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and more radiant than ever before. The danger lies in misinterpreting this process as rejection. When friends drift away, opportunities seem scarce, or relationships fizzle out, it's easy to internalize these experiences as signs of inadequacy. But here's the truth: isolation isn't about losing people, it's about losing misalignment. The divine knows exactly what and whom you need to release in order to make room for what's coming next. Think of it as pruning a tree. To allow new growth, certain branches must be cut away. Similarly, during your season of solitude, the universe removes anything that could hinder your progress or dilute your mission. This includes toxic relationships, draining environments, and even outdated versions of yourself. While it might feel painful in the moment, remember that every loss serves a higher gain. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. 7. Avoid binding yourself to every soul you help. One of the most profound yet challenging lessons for those with the crescent moon and letter Gem on their palms is this: healing someone doesn't mean you're meant to stay. Your light has an extraordinary ability to awaken others. It illuminates paths, opens doors, and sparks transformation in ways that can feel almost miraculous. But here's the truth many divine individuals struggle to accept: awakening isn't the same as attachment. Just because you've played a role in someone's growth doesn't mean you're obligated to remain tethered to their journey. Some souls were only ever meant to cross your path briefly, not settle into your life permanently. Learning to help without clinging is one of the greatest acts of spiritual maturity and one of the hardest. Think about it this way: when you shine your light onto someone else's darkness, you're offering them clarity, guidance, and perhaps even salvation from their own struggles. But the moment they step into that light, your job is done. Their continued evolution is now theirs to steward, not yours to carry. Too often, spiritually gifted individuals fall into the trap of over-identifying with the people they assist. They mistake their role as healers or guides for a lifelong commitment, believing that walking away would somehow betray the person they've helped. This couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, staying too long can do more harm than good. When you bind yourself to someone out of misplaced loyalty, you risk draining your energy, diluting your mission, and enabling dependency rather than empowerment. Remember, your purpose isn't to hold someone's hand forever, it's to teach them how to walk on their own. 8. Avoid measuring progress by earthly metrics. Let's address a trap that ensnares even the most spiritually attuned among us: measuring progress by earthly standards. If you've ever found yourself comparing your journey to someone else's, or worse, judging your worth based on followers, income, or applause. You're not alone. Society conditions us to equate success with visibility, wealth, and external validation. But here's the truth: these metrics are illusions when it comes to spiritual growth. The divine doesn't measure your impact by how many likes you receive, how much money is in your bank account, or how loudly people cheer for you. No, heaven's scoreboard looks nothing like Earth's. For those marked with the crescent moon and letter M, true progress is measured not by what the world sees but by what unfolds within obedience to divine guidance, alignment with your soul's purpose, inner peace, and transformation. These are the spiritual metrics that truly matter. Consider this deeply: if you judge your journey by earthly standards, you'll always feel behind. Why? Because there will always be someone who appears to have more, do more, or achieve more than you. Social media amplifies this comparison game, creating a distorted reality where everyone seems further ahead and happier than you. But let me remind you of something crucial: appearances are deceiving. What you see on the surface rarely reflects the depth of someone's struggles, sacrifices, or spiritual state. And even if it did, their journey has nothing to do with yours. Your path is uniquely yours, designed specifically for your evolution and contribution to the collective. When you focus on external markers of success, you lose sight of the sacred milestones that define your true progress: the quiet moments of surrender, the subtle shifts in perspective, the unshakable sense of peace that comes from living authentically. These are the victories that resonate on a soul level, even if no one else notices them. The danger of relying on earthly metrics lies in the disconnection they create between you and your divine mission. When you chase numbers, followers, dollars, accolades, you risk prioritizing ego over spirit. You begin to make decisions based on what will gain approval rather than what aligns with your higher calling. This misalignment breeds restlessness, frustration, and a pervasive sense of emptiness, no matter how successful you appear to be. The truth is, the divine doesn't care about your net worth or your social media following. It cares about your willingness to show up, to listen, to obey the whispers of your soul even when they defy logic or convention. True success isn't about accumulating more, it's about becoming more. It's about evolving into the fullest expression of who you were created to be, regardless of whether anyone else recognizes it. This brings us to another critical point: obedience to divine guidance is the ultimate measure of progress. Obedience doesn't mean blind compliance, it means tuning into the still, small voice within and trusting its direction, even when it leads you away from conventional paths. Sometimes, this voice asks you to step back, to retreat, to wait patiently while the universe aligns circumstances in your favor. Other times, it calls you to take bold action, to leap into the unknown without guarantees. Either way, the key is faith. The divine knows better than you do, faith that every step you take in alignment with your purpose brings you closer to fulfillment. When you prioritize obedience over outcomes, you free yourself from the pressure to perform according to worldly expectations. You realize that success isn't something you achieve, it's something you embody. And embodiment happens in the unseen moments of surrender, not under the spotlight of applause. Moreover, inner peace is perhaps the most profound indicator of spiritual progress. Ask yourself, do you feel calm amidst chaos? Are you able to navigate challenges with grace and resilience? Does your heart remain steady even when the world feels uncertain? These are signs that you're walking in alignment with your divine blueprint. Inner peace isn't circumstantial, it's cultivated through consistent connection with the divine and unwavering trust in its plan. Money may fluctuate, followers may come and go, and applause may fade, but inner peace endures because it's rooted in something eternal. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. This kind of peace cannot be bought, earned, or manufactured. It's a gift granted to those who live authentically and obediently. Finally, remember that transformation, not recognition, is the hallmark of a life lived in service to the divine. Transformation occurs when you allow yourself to be shaped by the lessons, trials, and blessings of your journey. It happens when you embrace change, release resistance, and surrender fully to the process of becoming. Transformation doesn't announce itself with fanfare, it reveals itself in the ways you show up differently in the world, in your relationships, your work, your interactions, your energy. It's reflected in the lives you touch, the love you share, and the light you radiate. These are the metrics that truly count, the ones recorded on heaven's scoreboard. So stop looking outward for validation and start turning inward for confirmation. Trust that the divine sees every effort, honors every sacrifice, and celebrates every victory, even the ones only you can feel. Because at the end of the day, your impact isn't defined by what the world measures, but by how deeply you've transformed yourself and others through your presence.